Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Around the Town with Chuck. Today we've taken the show live to the New Leaf Event Center here in Conneaut for the 15th Annual Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation. And with me is the caterer of the event, Phil Garcia. Phil, thanks for joining us.
Yes, I got to get back to work real quick, but time for you, Chuck.
That's why we were going to make you first. And Phil, of course, you are have been the caterer for all 15 of these events.
Yes.
How have you seen the events grow throughout the year?
You know, it stays about the same, between 250, 300 people. You know, it's always a nice event. A new venue this year, a little bit bigger. The human resource was nice. This is maybe a little bit nicer, but you know, it's all both facilities are great. I mean, you're kind of lucky to have two good facilities to have events too. So,
of course, we're here honoring all the boys and girls basketball players, along with the Hall of Famers. But we also honor referees. And Phil, I think when I had you on my show earlier in the year, you were in your 45th season.
Yeah, I just finished my 45th.
How's it going throughout the years now? 45. Well, I'm not trying to give your age away.
No. But it's going good. I'm still having fun doing it. A little harder to get up in the morning sometimes now, but it's still having fun. I'm working a lot with the younger referees and get them going, so it's been good.
And a couple of those younger referees, I know one is from Conneaut. His name Alex Polchowski. He's doing a great job in just his second year.
His second year. Next year will be his third, and then he's going to take a test to become eligible to do varsity games. He should be okay to do that. So
good. Phil, what's on the menu today?
We have baked chicken, roast beef, stuffed shells, scalloped potatoes, and green beans, and dessert.
Sounds good. Good luck to you today, Phil.
Thank you.
All right, that's Phil Garcia, our first guest here at the ACBF. Okay, hi again, everybody. Back here at the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation. With me is a longtime coach, Tom Rattari. Tom, how you doing?
I'm excellent today.
Tom, you've been a coach for how many years in multiple schools?
This is my 50th year.
50th.
50.
Wow, 50 years coaching. Of course, most recently, I think you were with Andover with the basketball program?
I was down in Pymatuming Valley as assistant girls coach.
Okay. And you've coached basketball here in Conneaut?
For about 20 years, at least 20.
Where else have you been?
Bamberg, South Carolina, Painesville, Riverside, Kenston, New Philadelphia, Kent Roosevelt.
Wow, all over the place.
Yeah.
And of course, tennis.
Yeah.
Tennis coaching. What do you like best of all those?
Oh, basketball. That's my primary passion. I mean, I played at Edinburgh, so I carried through.
When you coached at Conneaut, who are some of the players that you've coached that everybody would be kind of familiar with?
Well, the first one was Jennifer Johnston. Mm-hmm. Okay, Jen was the first one here that's been into the Hall of Fame. Then Olmsted, Jess Olmsted. That whole group of Olmsted and Kudlock. And, let's see, Brown was in there. There were many that were all part of that group. And
of course, your career spanned, for like you said, 50 years. 20 of them in Conneaut.
Most of them, even more than 20.
And you were with Andover how long?
1 year.
Just 1 year.
Just this past year. Jeff asked me to come down.
And
Jeff Compton.
Why do I think you were at St. John for a while? You were not there.
Not that I remember.
Okay. Okay, and you still run every day.
I see you in the 5 days a week.
I see you in the streets of Conneaut running quite a bit. Are you running in this 32-degree weather here in April?
Oh, yeah, I ran today. So.
Great for you. You're such a great man, and keep yourself in tip-top shape. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Tom Rattari, longtime coach here in Conneaut and various places.
Hey.
All right, my next guest here at the ACBF, he was a guest at Around the Town with Chuck earlier, Brad Ellis, president of the event. Brad, any last-minute touches for today?
I think we're all set to go. This is the first time I've been in this building, and it's just a beautiful building, and it's a great venue for this, our 16th ACBF Hall of Fame banquet. Should be a great day.
16th event. Of course, you're a future Hall of Famer yourself. How have you seen the events grow throughout the years?
You know what? The big thing tonight, this is the venue. But more and more, we see more and more people at these events. It's gotten bigger every year with the attendance, and we get a great response for the Hall of Famers coming back. We do have a few that are missing today, but they have people that will accept on their behalf. So, but that's the biggest thing. I just think the venue, and then just the growth of the attendance of how big it's become.
Well, you guys do a really great job, and good luck and success today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
Yes. President of the ACBF, Brad Ellis. All right, back here at the ACBF, Chuck Guglielmo here, and we have the athletic director of Edgewood Warriors, Steve Cray. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Steve, 16th event here. Of course, you're elected into the Hall of Fame this year. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
What I want to know is you played on the 1997 Edgewood Warriors team, which was an outstanding team, and you had an outstanding basketball team this year as well. How do you compare those two teams?
Well, that's actually a little part of my speech today, so you're taking a little bit of my thunder. But no, I mean, it was a lot of fun for both of us. I see a lot of similarities between those two teams. We like to score a lot. We don't like to guard anybody a whole lot. We like to run up and down the floor, and both of those teams kind of resembled that. And, Coach Bowler did an awesome job with those guys this year. Hayden can definitely shoot it a little bit, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he can shoot a lot.
Yes, he can.
Of course, you played for Coach Runyon, I believe.
I did.
And how would you compare Runyon and Bowler as coaches?
I would say very similar because they're players coaches. They did a lot of stuff in the off season, and they definitely put in a lot of time, and they have a lot of similarities with that aspect. They're, guys that you like to play for, you respect, and it's a lot of fun playing for guys like that.
Mm-hmm. How's the athletic program going overall for the Edgewood Warriors?
It's going good. It's going good. I wish the Mother Nature would cooperate a little bit here right now, but we're about 9 games behind in baseball and softball. But I think the end is near and the summer's coming here soon, so we're looking forward to it.
I often say to a lot of my guests, it's almost like baseball and football season should be flip-flopped.
Big talk of that, actually, but
I
don't think it'll ever happen. But there's always been a talk of that.
Well, speaking of talk, I ask everybody that's a coach or an AD about a possibility of maybe an all-county league returning. Do you see that, or don't you see that?
I'd love to see that, actually. We talk about it all the time. I think the issue right now is just the size disparity amongst all of our schools. We have some larger schools, some smaller schools, and it's all about competitiveness. We definitely, county schools make the money when you play county schools, and that's a great thing. And our kids come out and support each other, and but we love to see it happen. I'm willing to talk about it, and I think everybody in this room that is here is in the county understands that we all need to kind of come to some type of consensus, but there's some things that need to be worked out as well.
Steve Cray, thank you very much for being my guest.
Thank you.
Again, congratulations for being elected.
Thank you very
Hall of
much.
Fame.
Thank you.
Steve Cray, AD of the Edgewood Warriors, my guest. All right, with me now is the athletic director at Jefferson, longest tenured athletic director, Steve Losey in the county. Is that correct?
That's as far as I know. I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah.
That's been now how many years?
I believe 21.
21. Of course, Bill Fells of Conneaut previously had that longest tenure, I believe. I don't know if it was 21 years, but before he retired, he was the longest tenured. So tell us a little bit about the Falcons athletic programs and how they're going.
Well, the spring's not going real good at all because of
weather,
all the weather, but we're making it through. We've got a good group of athletes, especially on the girls' side. We're looking for real good things from the varsity softball team. They had most of their girls back, and they were, in the district runner-up last year, so we're real excited about them. Boys, like I said, a lot unknown there because they haven't played any. Well, they played one game, but and then we got some good athletes in the track and field, so we're excited there in the spring. We got some good young athletes coming, and we'll go from there.
Of course, the Falcons are in the AAC. Pretty happy there?
Matter of fact, we're in the AAC for about another month and a half, and then we move to what's known as the NE8, which is a lot of the same schools, but smaller conference. We don't have the 23, 24 schools we have to worry about. We're in with 7 other schools that are basically the white tier schools of the AAC. And yeah, we love the competition down there, and they've been very good to us, and so that's where we'll be.
Of course, Steve Cray wanted me to ask you the loaded question, and that is, do you ever see any kind of a county basketball type or county sports league coming back?
Well, like you said, I've been around a long time as the AD, and we've tried to put it together probably every 2 years, tried to get something together, and it's never come together. I'd love to see it. When I graduated from Jefferson and played a lot of the county schools, and that's one thing that does help us with this NE8. We don't have to play the crossovers that we had to play in the AAC, so we can play a lot of the county schools, and we have them on our schedule. So, like for example, for basketball, we only have 14 league games now instead of the 20 that we had, so we can fill those other 8 games up with county schools.
Our final question for you, Steve. Of course, you've been a Boston Marathon runner. That's coming up again. Any chance of going back?
Oh yes, I leave Thursday. So
You are going back
yes,
this year?
I'm going back this year. So I leave Thursday. Hopefully the weather warms up just a little bit, not as much as it did last year, and I'm really excited to be one of this. I think 8 from Ashtabula County going. So
Well, good luck to you. Good success. What kind of weather are you hoping for up there?
about 10 degrees warmer than today, and that'd be perfect.
Well, we'll
So,
see what we can do. It is supposed to get in the mid-50s here next week, so we'll see.
That'd be great.
Steve Losey,
All right,
thank you.
thank you.
Steve Losey, AD of the Jefferson Falcons, my guest. All right, my next guest here at the ACBF, no stranger, a Hall of Famer in his own name, and that's Bob Hitchcock. Bob, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for asking me.
A lot of Hitchcocks in the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation. Let's see if I can name them all. Bob, of course, Gordy, and there's Doug, and there's a girl in there. Kim?
Kim's my daughter.
Kim's your daughter, okay. And then we're going to have another one coming up. Did I miss any yet?
Kelly is my brother's daughter that played, and she also played at down in Canton at Walsh College.
Great. And then, of course, I'm almost positive we're going to have another one in Sam Hitchcock coming up here in the next 5 years or so, maybe?
They have to be out of high school for 20 years
20 years,
before
okay.
they're nominated to this club.
Well, I'm sure he's going to be one that makes it. And I understand there's another Hitchcock coming up in the Jefferson system. Talk a little bit about him.
Well, we expect him to be, we'd like to see him be the best of all. I just got a phone call before I left the house that he's in a tournament in Sharon. They won 3 games and they're playing in the finals down there today. And he's having playing with a good group of young men. And let's hope he improves as time goes on.
Oh, I'm sure that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame as well. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, one going in today from Pymatuning Valley, you coached Rod Brown. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, Rod is a young man who played in 88, 87 when we had that undefeated team. And excellent defensive player, good with the ball. We used to put him on their best outside offensive player. And of course he had a good scoring average also. But played with a good group of players, and we're happy to see him make it.
We are happy too. And Bob, if you can find him somewhere, because I have no idea who he looks like, tell him to come over here for a couple minutes.
I will.
Okay,
I will.
thanks.
Thank you.
Bob Hitchcock, one of the directors here at the ACBF, my guest. All right, my next guest, Hall of Famer this year at the ACBF, Rod Brown. Rod, thanks for taking the time to talk. Rod, you played for a undefeated team back in 79-80 for the PV Lakers. Talk a little bit about how that season went for you guys.
Well, we went well at the beginning there, then we started getting going in the tournaments there, and we got a couple people sick there, and we ended up losing to O.J. McDuffie there in the tournaments.
I had no doubt that you would be a Hall of Famer because you played for a Hall of Fame coach, Bob Hitchcock. What was it like playing for Bob Hitchcock?
Well, Coach Hitchcock was very tense, along with assistant coach Perry Nicholas, and it was being my cousin, you know, and he knew he could push us and push us very hard.
Did you ever do anything wrong on that basketball team that he let you know about?
Well, I'm sure I did something wrong all the time, but hey, yes, he'd straighten us out when we need to, and when we didn't need to, he didn't say anything.
Of course, you're now here in Ashtabula County. You reside in Ashtabula County. You're into agriculture?
Yes.
Yes. Well, congratulations on being elected into the Hall of Fame.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Rod Brown, my guest on the ACBF. All right, back here at the ACBF, my next guest is the girls basketball coach at Conneaut, Tony Passman. Tony, how's it going?
Going good.
16th ACBF event. I'm sure you've been to probably all of them.
I've been to all of them, yeah.
And how's each one progressed throughout the years as far as getting better and better?
I think it's nice. You see a lot more with the Hall of Famers coming back every year, you know, and just seeing them makes it a lot nicer. And then obviously just being here now this year is really nice. So it's definitely grown, and it's nice to see. Really
a magnificent building here. Talk a little bit about your team. I know you had double-digit wins this year. You won a tournament game as well. Your MVP is Tully Taylor for today. How did the season go for you overall?
It went well. I mean, we suffered, a couple injuries early, and kind of, I think it hurt us a little bit, but overall I thought the girls really responded. We had younger girls step up, and and then once we got a little bit healthier towards the end, especially, that led to winning the first tournament game on our home floor. So I was really proud of how the girls played this year, and now the expectations were even higher for next year.
I was just going to say, as you look forward to next year, your backcourt ought to be awesome with Clark and Mazzocco.
Yeah.
And then up front too, I saw great improvement in the Sanford girl.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about those three players.
Sanford especially, we really have high hopes for her. And I've done a lot of talking with her. That Tully really blossomed this year as a senior, and I said, she has the capability to do that as a junior starting next year. So we have big hopes for her. Yeah, then obviously Hannah and Lydia both have been playing varsity since they were freshmen, and we also have KJ Haas and hopefully Sam Mempa coming back too. So
we also have another backcourt girl. I think her last name might be Pasadena. How's she progressing?
She's actually in a tournament right now in Sharon, so I was there all day yesterday, but she's still got a long ways to go.
Great. Well, I'm sure she's going to do fine. She's got you as a coach and a father, and good luck to you next year.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Tony Pasadena, girls coach here at Conneaut. All right, my next guest here at the ACBF is girls legendary basketball coach at Geneva, Nancy Barbo. Nancy, thanks for taking time.
Thank you. Great to be here.
This is the 16th event. Have you been here all 16?
I have.
All 16. What do you think of the new venue?
Oh, wow. It's beautiful. It's overwhelming. I've never been here, so it looks great.
Of course, Nancy's been a very successful coach at Geneva. Is calling it quits at the end of this year, but I read where you threw a little hint out there that you may come back, but probably as an assistant. No.
Well, I said that just because I do. I love working with young adults, high schoolers. It's been really rewarding. So maybe I'm not completely ruling that out, but it will be way down the road.
Of course, your husband John helped you on the varsity team. He also coached the 8th grade girls, so you got them when they came up.
Yes,
so under his
right, and that was such a relief, not worrying about the middle school program, knowing that he was there, pretty much instilling everything that we do at the high school level. So,
of course, Nancy won multiple conference championships at Geneva. I think 11 sectionals and 3 districts here in the middle 2000s, like 15, 16, 17 or something like that. What would you say of all those great teams? Is there one team that stood out for you as your best?
Oh, I don't know. I was, John and I, once I decided I was going to retire, leafed through all of our years, and we're like, that was the best team. And then we leafed through, that was the best team. And then it's hard to say. I've just been really blessed with some great players and great teams.
You've lost a little bit going into next year, but I understand the 9th grade team is pretty good.
Yes, and we have a lot of girls coming back that were integral members of the varsity team that I think that we're going to be pretty competitive still.
22 years at Geneva, was it?
Yes, I believe it's 22.
Okay, 2 years as a JV coach under Bob Herpy.
Right.
You learned a lot from Bob, according to the article I read in the paper.
Yeah, he was a great man. It's a great family, great sports family. He had a great mind, a great sports mind. It's tragic having him go so early, and without his wife kind of encouraging me to take this on, I would have never done it. So I owe her a lot of thanks, and Bob, of course.
And one of your reasons for the retirement, of course, your son Luke is coming up now, and you want to be involved in his sports and activities.
Yes, that is part of the reason. He's getting very involved. He loves basketball, thankfully, but he also plays football and baseball, and we like to travel too, and we want to try to get that in before he really gets involved in the high school side of it.
Well, we're losing a legendary and Nancy Barbo. Nancy, thanks for being my guest, and good luck in retirement.
Thank you very much.
Nancy Barbo, girls coach at Geneva High. All right, my next guests here at the ACBF are Nick Irochi from Ashtabula and Nick Irochi from Conneaut. If we had chairs, I would say, well, the real Nick Irochi, please stand up.
And we are.
And we get most Should I even ask who's older?
I am.
You are older.
I am
Not
older.
much,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I usually don't brag about being older, but I want to brag about this one because I had the name first. But that's okay.
Of course, this Nick was athletic director at St. John's School, girls basketball coach, one of the best girls player in the area for the last couple of years. Madison Parody, talk about her.
Oh, Madison's a wonderful girl. It's going to be really, really tough coaching without her. I've been spoiled. She's been our point guard for the last 4 years, and we got some kids waiting in the wings, but there'll never be another Madison Parody. She's one of the best that ever played at St. John.
Great year at St. John's School. Wrestling, a couple state championships.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Brugard
and Luo.
Jacob Lagoa, he was a sophomore who's won back-to-back state championships. His goal is to win 4. Scott Blank does an amazing job with our wrestling program. We're lucky to have a guy like him. In this Me First society we live in, he puts everybody else ahead of himself. And again, very fortunate to have a coach like Scott Blank.
Been a very successful sports year at St. John's School. We'll give you a little bit of a break. We'll talk to the other Nick Roche. Nick, of course, prosecuting attorney here at Ashtabula County. Nick, you're studying to be a deacon at the local parish. Talk about how that's going.
It's going great. If everything goes according to plan, I'll be ordained next fall,
Well, we're
2019.
We're excited to have you as our deacon. Let's go back to 2003. You and Mike Joslin. I remember being at the table with you guys during halftime, and you guys were kind of brainstorming through this idea of this foundation. Is it where it's at now? Is that where you thought it would be back in 2003?
Not at all. I had no idea it would still be going 16 years later. So, yeah, this thing has taken off, and we can only give all the credit to our directors and Michael Bartone, who's our administrator. So, yeah, it's taken off, and we are very blessed.
Yeah, you guys have done such a great job. You and Mike Joslin kind of stepped back. You kind of gave the president role to Brad Ellis, who does a fine job also.
Yes, Brad has done an outstanding job. Like several of our other presidents, like Ed Luman for a number of years, John Plasala. We've had a number of great people who have served in that role. So.
Nick, what do you think about the new venue this year?
Oh, this venue's amazing, and and to credit Nikki, and that was a special year for me, 2003, because a little bit of irony or coincidence, I actually wasn't the Coach of the Year that year, the first time ever, the first ever ACBF Coach of the Year, I won it, so that was really, really cool. And I've been at every single banquet that they've had, and it's just amazing what Nikki and Mike and what everybody do for the kids in our area, and we tease each other a lot, but I'm absolutely honored to have a name as he does. He does so much. He's an amazing guy. I'm just trying to figure out, his wife's got to be a saint because the guy's never home.
You both are amazing guys. You had the opportunity for your team to play at Quicken Loans Arena. What was that experience?
It was an amazing experience, and it was against Conneaut, and we went overtime. So it was a great experience for the girls and for myself, and it's a lifetime memory for the girls. Not many people can say that they lost an overtime game at the Q. So it was pretty cool. And again, it's something we're going to try to do with our boys, and God bless the Cavaliers and the Cleveland organization for allowing students to be able to play on their court.
Well, you two of you are great men here in the county, and continued success to Nick Irochi Conneaut and Nick Irochi Ashtabula.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you for everything you do.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. Nick and Nick, my guest at the ACBF. All right, my next guest here at the ACBF is the outstanding athlete, basketball player from the Edgewood Warriors, Hayden Kanicki. Hayden, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Hayden, talk a little bit about the year Edgewood had. I know it was an outstanding year. Of course, you lost in the tournament to Lake Catholic. But take us up to that tournament game and how the season went for not only just you, but for your team.
Oh, I think it was very successful. All of us contributed, the same amount, and that's what led us to the success, playing as a team and working hard every day in practice. Going 7 days a week. That's all it takes.
I don't see very many of your games, but the couple that I have caught, it seems to me you're such a great shooter that when you get that ball in your hands on the pass, you're ready to shoot.
No, yeah, it just takes practice and repetition. I mean, shooting on the shooting machine, getting your feet set, ball placement, everything, and follow through. That's all it takes, really.
You had an outstanding year last year, your team did, with Marcus Ernst, and you had another outstanding team this year. And it looks like you're going to have another outstanding team next year because all of you were juniors.
Yes.
Who will be new to the team next year?
Well, new to the team, I'm not sure. I mean, we're going to have a lot of kids back. 4 of the 5 starters are going to be coming back next year.
That's what I guess I meant. Who would be that person to take that spot?
I'm not sure. It's going to be open for grabs, and the best player will play. The best players will play, and we'll do whatever it takes to win.
How was the junior varsity's success rate this year?
They played hard every game, and any of those kids could step up for the spot. It's just going to be all about competition this year, who earns it.
Well, congratulations to you, Hayden, for
Thank you.
outstanding MVP candidate from the Edgewood Warriors. Hayden Kinnicky, my guest at the ACBF. Okay, my next guest here at the ACBF is the Master of Ceremonies for today's Hall of Fame from ESPN 970, WFUN Radio, David Miller. Dave, thanks for joining me.
No problem.
Dave, another job well done. Now, this was the 16th event. This is how many years for you being MC?
I think this is my 4th year being MC.
4 years doing it.
Year, yeah.
Anything different as each year goes by for you?
I'm starting to recognize more of the names going into the Hall of Fame now. I've been in the area for about 13 years now, and so for me, I wasn't aware of the rich history we had in Ashtabula County when it came to basketball, and now I'm I'm aware of that now and seeing that, and it's fun for me to kind of relive some of the past, some of the stuff I haven't seen. But again, some of the names going in this year, Jessica Olmstead, Jessica Cancel, Steve Gray, those are people I've known, I've seen play. So it's interesting to see all of those people now reach that milestone in their life.
A very nice tribute the ACBF did for Geneva girls coach, the legendary Nancy Barbo. Do you think we'll ever see another coach like that again?
Those are really big shoes to fill. A lot of people say, as a coach, coaches will say you're only as good as the players you have on the floor. But I think that she was able to kind of mold the players she had into what she needed at any time, and she definitely had a very special talent to do it. So I think it's going to be a while. It is some big shoes to fill, but I don't know. It just depends on what's coming up, I guess.
Of course, along with Brad Ellis, Dave Miller, the voice of the Ashtabula County sports. Dave, covering all these basketball games this year. Was there one game you did this year that stood out for you as probably the best game you had? Girls or boys?
It's funny. Like off the top of my head, there are moments in games. Hayden Kinnicky, we were there the first night. He scored 44 points. He couldn't miss that night. That was a great game to watch. We were there for some of the other games, some of the hard-fought games. Geneva's team. It was just amazing to me how together they were as a team, and how they were unbeatable when they were playing together. No one person stood out on that team. They all worked together as a team. You saw some of the other teams in the county. St. John was like that as well, where they really did come together and play as a team. And for me, those are the ones that stand out. The county matchups where you see two teams from the same county, from the county, from Ashtabula County, battling it out. And you heard some of the people on stage tonight talk about the environment, the packed gyms, the standing room only. Those are the ones, for me having to scream over the crowd behind me to kind of describe what's happening. That's what I love, and that's what stands out to me.
We'll close with this, Dave. I talked to several of the ADs from the area here today, and I asked them about a county league. What are our chances? They all are for it, but what do you think the chances are for that developing in the next 5 years?
It's difficult. I mean, we've tried it over the past few years. There's opposition to it. It's hard for everyone to get along all the time, and sometimes we keep getting tripped up on small little things. But I think eventually it'll happen. I think sheer economics will make it happen. It's just when you're dealing with so many personalities at so many different schools, sometimes it's hard to get everybody on the same page.
I know I had your partner Brad Ellis on my show here about a month ago, and he was saying you got Geneva going down 271, you got teams going down Route 11, you got Conneaut going across the border.
Yeah.
We need to get it together.
Right. Well, and for me, it's Lakeside's the best example of it. You got their teams traveling 2 hours in some cases. You have middle school teams going to a track meet 2 hours away and getting home after 10:30. I'm talking about 7th and 8th graders, and these kids have to get up, do their homework, get up, and go back to school the next day. And that just is unacceptable, if you ask me.
Dave, keep doing up the good work at the radio station there in Ashtabula. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Dave Miller of ESPN 970. Okay, my next guest here at the ACBF is the girls varsity basketball coach at Pymatuning Valley, Jeff Compton. Jeff, thanks for taking time.
No problem. My pleasure.
Jeff is just what's named the girls coach of the year. 17 wins this year. Jeff, what turned it around for the Lakers? I know you got one of the best players in the game.
That didn't hurt. Having a girl that could score 20 on every single night really helps. But the girls just became a little more dedicated. We worked harder in the summertime, and we got on a roll early, and just carried that success through the year.
When we're talking about one of the best girls, we're talking about Madison Hurst, who was co-player of the year. Talk a little bit about Madison and the kind of career she's had at PV.
Madison has been very consistent. She was a 4-year letter winner, played a lot as a freshman, and was basically our star for the next 3 years. She worked very hard on her outside shooting, and she used to be a travel softball girl, and recently decided that she wanted to go to college to play basketball instead and really dedicate herself. So she's really just kind of blossoming now as a basketball player, and maybe just scratching the potential that's really there.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, you've been coaching for a lot of years. How many years now?
I've been coaching 24, 19 as a head coach at Pie Valley.
Wow, 19 years. Yeah. How has, obviously the game has changed. How?
The three-point line has definitely made it different, and I think just the AAU style of basketball. It used to be get the ball in the paint and get fouled, and now it's if you got girls that can make the threes, you're going to be successful. So I think that drive and kick for threes and that style has really changed from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I've been asking a lot of coaches and a lot of athletic directors about a possibility of a county league. Would you be in favor of it or no?
Yes and no.
You're pretty good in your NAC, right?
Yeah. We, for Pymatuning Valley, as far as size goes, when you get into those bigger schools, it becomes a little bit of an issue. But we try to play as many of those schools as we can throughout the season. We haven't been able to play Lakeside or Geneva in the last couple of years, but we play everybody else. So, it wouldn't be a big issue for us, although I think that our administration is very comfortable where we're at, and they're, in the long run, they're the ones that make the decision. So, they look at our input, but, I think our administration is fearful more of the football side of things rather than basketball. We would be able to compete in basketball. I think we're really worried about how the county would look football-wise for Pie Valley.
Jeff, a nice tribute to one of the best coaches we'll probably ever see in the county, Nancy Barbo. Talk about your relationship with Nancy throughout the years.
Nancy and I have been very good friends. We've scrimmaged a lot. We played a lot early when we were in the same league, and we trade film, we trade scouting reports when we can, and I've learned a lot from her about defense and intensity, and I talked to her a little bit sitting next to her at the table tonight about how much we would miss her and just her style of basketball, and hoping that whoever comes to Geneva can continue on with what she's built.
It's really going to be a void, isn't it?
Yeah, she's, since Rod Holmes is no longer around, I used to joke with that she was the legend, and now she was telling me today, she goes, I'm passing that to you. I said, I don't want any part of that. So she's been a big influence on me.
Sure. Let's close by bringing in this little one here and tell us who this little one is.
This is my son Rylan, and Rylan sits with me on every single game. He's my assistant coach, and he comes with me to all my functions. So he's the next basketball junkie.
Oh, very good, Rylan. Okay, thanks very much.
You're welcome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Son Riley, our guest on ACBF.